From the News Channel 5 Network, this is OpenLine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Open Line. I am Ben Hall. Good show tonight. We are talking about one of the major issues before the council right now. It is the proposed new jail. Mayor Dean is proposing a $110 million new jail that would be located in the Antioch area. This has generated controversy. There are those who say we desperately need this and that is the right location. There are also those who say that is the wrong location and question whether we need it. We want to hear from you. We also tonight have two council members who are very concerned about the process and the location. And I feel comfortable having both of them on because we've also had Sheriff Hall on, and a little bit later we'll hear from Sheriff Hall when he testified or spoke before the council. So we have with us Karen Johnson, Metro Council member. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Ben.
And Duane Dominy, also Metro Council member. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Ben. Glad to be here.
So as we set all of this up, what are your thoughts or your concerns? And Councilman Dominy, I'll start with you.
Well, first of all, according to the mayor, it was announced on the 21st of April, this is the largest investment in public safety in the history of the city of Nashville. We're being asked to approve this in 49 days. And just 4 days ago, we were told we can't see the $1.5 million taxpayer-funded study that was done to show us where the best location would be and the other alternative sites might have been considered. We can't see that. That's rather convenient. But unfortunately, it's not a good way for us to vet the process. And I think we ought to do that properly before moving forward with this proposal.
And what do you think, Councilman Johnson? What is your concern with this?
Well, my concerns are basically what the people in the southeast area of Nashville have expressed, and that is that we have a situation here where no one was made aware, none of the council members were made aware of what was in the study, had an opportunity to be able to provide input into that study.
True.
And what I mean by that is not necessarily saying what we would like the study to actually say, but being able to have an opportunity to say, have you explored this or have you explored that? Just having an opportunity to be able to provide some input for consideration to the consultant that was actually creating what we now see as the master plan or the document that is resulting in us making such a major decision. So,
is your biggest concern the location? Would either of you doubt that we need a new jail? Let's start there. Councilman Dom, do we need a new jail in your opinion?
We need to improve our jail. Whether that's on the current location or in another location, that's not the issue, but something needs to be done about the condition of our existing jail. True. The question is, where's the best location? Where's the most appropriate location, given the location of our courthouses, given the location of the other services that many of these inmates that have been released either on bond or have served their time and are released with or without a place to go, have those community services and social services that are available to them that are currently downtown. They're not in Southeast Nashville. Currently, there's only a bus that runs twice a day that goes by that location, once in the morning and once at night. And there are no city services in that area. And so if they do that, how do those folks that have been released get the services they need? Where do they go in the interim while they're waiting on transportation if they don't have someone to come get them? But yes, we need to improve our jail. There's no doubt. The question is the right place and the right process to get to where the public has input. I was telling Councilor Johnson in the break room, my tie was a gift from my daughter who went to China. They would expect that kind of government there. We don't expect that here. We expect the people expect to be able to be involved in the process here. And I think that's important.
And I want to ask you the same question. Do you agree that we need a new jail? Like, do we at least agree or not? Do you think we don't need a new jail?
I don't know if I agree that we need a new jail. We need to evaluate the entire situation. There may be a reason to leave it where it is right now and renovate and make improvements to the current location. But again, we've not really looked at the entire process and discussed that thoroughly. The other thing is it truly the best thing for the city of Nashville to concentrate the jail facilities in one location? If that is something that is the best thing for Nashville, then the location, should it be near neighborhoods? Should it be in an open area that's, there's no proximity to, there's, and this is again a lot that's coming at us with this, so I have to kind of get my thoughts together here. But is that consolidated jail needed in a place where there's no evidence of neighborhoods within close proximity to it? These are things that people want to be able to express and have answers to, and that is what is the concern to most of my constituents.
And I've heard both of you say you're concerned about the process, the fact that you're not having a lot of time to deal with this. How concerned are your constituents about just having it there? Do you think even if they had more time to review it, to understand it better, that they would be comfortable with it in their neighborhood or in this location that they're talking about? Would you ever feel like it's a good idea to put it where they're talking about putting it? And I'll start with you on that.
Again, I don't think that we could even answer that question because we've not looked at the impact. Part of the study doesn't include how it impacts neighborhoods. There is a neighborhood less than 0.4 miles away from this proposed project. In other cities, has that been done successfully, or has it been done in areas that were farther away from neighborhoods and homes and people? So I think that just saying at this particular point it's not the right location. I don't know that because, again, we've not really had that in-depth discussion to analyze that.
The data hasn't been shared to show that. That's the challenge. We can't make that claim because we don't have the facts. We've been told, oh, it's been studied. We've been given a 37-page document that says this is where we determine we're going to do it. We paid $1.5 million for, but that's not the study that was done. And so we don't have the information to make that decision. And we don't have the residents of our communities or North Nashville don't have the information to make that informed decision. The council doesn't have the information. How can we make an informed decision if we've not been shared that, we've not been involved in the process, and they've told us as little as 5 days ago that we can't see that data because it has combinations in it that nobody else can see? Why not didact that and make the rest of it available?
In a few moments, we're going to show when Sheriff Hall spoke before the council in the Finance Committee hearing. It made news. We'll be able to show a lot more of it, like an 11-minute section of that. We have several calls. Let's go to Philip. Hello, Philip. What's on your mind?
Hey, good evening. I know what the residents of Nashville should not have to do to seek justice, and that's pay to park. I've lived all over this country, and I'm from a very large area in Virginia. If you go to Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, Suffolk, to do any kind of court thing, you do not have to pay to park. Victims of domestic violence should not have to pay to park to go talk to a magistrate. Victims who are assaulted on criminal things or civil things or anything like that should not have to pay to park for justice.
So that sounds like you would support moving it away from the current location. Downtown, parking's at a premium. You support moving it. Is that right, Philip?
Absolutely. To cause citizens of this county to pay to park for justice is absurd. And the city of Nashville should be ashamed of itself for having the situation that they have currently in Nashville for as long as they've had. I don't know where they need to move it, but it needs to be moved. No doubt about it.
All right, let's talk about that. What do you think about what he's saying there?
I don't disagree with him on the parking. There's a reason I've brought constituents of mine that had to go before the court down here and parked in my parking space and, as a council member, and brought them down here to both as me as a witness, as well as get them down here to be before the judges. I think it's important we do that. We could provide that parking option without moving the jail, but it ought to be done. And that's a different issue than where the jail ought to be.
Right. For some, they think it should just be moved. Now they're talking about moving it, I guess, in your area, and that's causing a great deal of concern for people in your area.
Well, I don't think parking should be the determination to move an entire operation into one area, especially, again, if we're not considering the far-reaching impact that it has on people. I think that is the most important thing that we have to consider, the safety and well-being of all citizens within this city. And the fact that you have a revolving door of people who are coming in and out of this system, and that is a new thing that will be occurring in the Antioch, Southeast Nashville, Harding Place area. You cannot dispute that is a concern, and we just can't make a blanket decision to impact that area in that major way based on parking.
And that proposed site is a half-mile from the closest neighborhood. That's in the 28th Council District. The closest house is on Eazell Pike, less than a half-mile from that proposed site.
All right, we have Councilman Steve Glover. Councilman Glover?
Yes.
Hi, did you want to weigh in here? Appreciate you calling in. What's on your mind?
I just want to make sure that everybody understands this actually is in Council District 13, which butts up right next to mine. And so I think we need to be clear on that as we're talking through the issue. I'll let them continue talking, but I think we need to address that part. It's actually in Josh Steit's district.
Okay.
I can address that. Actually, Steve Glover's district is in the Hermitage side, and actually Josh Steit's district butts up against District 29. So where this facility actually sits, right across the way from Josh's district, is District 29. So the border actually for where this proposed project is going to be is actually District 13 with 29 on one side and 28, which is Councilman Dominy, on the other side.
And it was
Councilman
28.
Glover is way out in the Hermitage area.
It was 28 before redistricting in 2011. So
Which means something to some people, but I think what's important, are there people in your districts that are concerned about this?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And in fact, the closest neighbors to this location are in my district.
Exactly.
It was in the 28th Council District prior to redistricting. It still is in the heart of my community because that section was pulled out because of redistricting, because there were 2,000 residents placed in the prison that was there.
Are there people that think this could be a good thing? That it could bring economic revitalization or economic benefits in some way? So there are people that are concerned.
I've not heard anybody say this is a good idea because there's just not enough information.
I've had a couple that have called that thought it might be, but again, they didn't have the full information. Nobody does. That's part of the challenge. That's part of the reason I'm requesting that it be pulled out of the capital improvement budget so that it can be properly vetted, and if necessary, it can be placed back in once it's been fully vetted at the request of the mayor and with 27 affirmative votes of the council. I'm not suggesting we don't build a jail. I'm not suggesting we pick a location right now. What I'm saying is we don't have the information because it has been withheld from us and the public. While efforts are underway to politicize the matter, one of the things that I received, and I don't know, I've told for several other council members, we've all received the same letters that were all printed. All the mailing labels were printed on the same address labels. All the postage stamps are the same postage stamps. All the letters are identical with the exception of the name of the sheriff's office employee with their signature. And sometimes it's where it ought to be, sometimes it's just scribbled on the page. In any direction. I've contacted all those in my district that have emailed me. Here's one where it's just in the middle of the page. All the letters are identical fonts, identical pages, no typos with the exception of my address.
So what do you think that means?
My question is, if the employees of the sheriff's office are signing these letters, are they doing it on city time? Are they doing it with city equipment? Are they doing it at the request of a supervisor of those employees? I get the employees want to have new facilities. I get that. And we ought to have appropriate facilities for our incarcerated folks as well as places people can get to. But we ought to do it in a way that's open and honest. not in a way that's manipulative, having employees or supervisors having employees sign letters supporting a proposal that helps their department.
All right, we have to take a break. We have a bunch of calls. We're going to take a break. We also want to hear from Sheriff Darren Hall when he spoke before the Finance Committee the other night. So we'll take a break. If you're on the line, hold on. We'll be back right after this.